Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Bourbon County brand stout here at 7:40 a.m. Yeah, I need to cut that grass, but it was raining so much this week, couldn't get to it. It says serve in a snifter. Well, I don't have a snifter, but I have this big tulip glass, which is going to be okay, I guess. And it's Negro Modelo, another InBev brand. Yes, Bourbon County. Goose Island, I mean to say, was acquired by Anheuser-Busch InBev in 2011. The Bourbon County barrel-aged bourbon barrel stout was introduced in 1992. I was doing that KBS from Founders, and I said it was, I haven't checked, but I think in the video I said it stood for Kentucky Bourbon Stout, but of course it's Kentucky Breakfast Stout. But now it's just KBS. 13.8% alcohol, it says here on the bottle. If you look on the website, which I was just on, it's saying 14.2%, so it must vary year by year. This was brought to me by John Sharon and Charles Lewis of Indiana on May 7th, 2015. It says contains wheat and develops in the bottle over 5 years. Well, I'm just going to drink this 2014 right now. It's developed for a year. Or about a year. Let's see. It says bottled on. It got blurred, but I can't tell. Something in 2014. "60 international bitterness units." There's the mail already passing. They typically come before 8 a.m. around here. Beer advocates saying world class. The bros say world class. Perfect score. 100 out of 100 on rate beer, 100 out of 100 for the style. Outstanding on the beer and me, though, their second highest score. They use 2-row barley malt, Munich malt, chocolate barley malt, caramel malt, roasted barley, and debittered black malt, debittered, and Willamette hops, 1-hop variety. Never had it. I'm sure there's an enormous amount of video reviews for it. I'm still watching all the KBS videos, which is taking forever, seems like. They're interesting. Most of them. Some of them aren't too good, but most of them are interesting. Label out, label in. Oh, some smoke here. Not much sediment down there. I was going to go walking before I did this, and then I said I don't want the cigar smoke, on my hands, so I decided to do this now. It's very sunny, crystal clear skies. That is such a strong aroma of oak. Bourbon barrels, what else can you say? I'm not a bourbon drinker, but I've smelled a lot of these barrel-aged beers like the Coney Island, this, the KBS, and a good amount of others. And they all have that similar aroma. Now, like PA Brewed News was saying, he would like to try the base beer of the KBS. And I would like to try that too, the beer without the aging in the bourbon barrels, because frankly, I'm not a big fan of that. I know a lot of people like it. It's a big fad, especially in the last 5 years or so. I mean, it's been around since, like they said, 92, but it became the big rage now. I love stouts and imperial stouts, but a lot of times when I see barrel-aged, I kind of just skip over it. So that kind of overwhelms the beer aroma. Maybe I'm picking up some dark roasted barley malt. You can see that the appearance is very dark brown, almost black, and not much of a head, a little thin foam at the top. This is probably more of a winter beer than a late May beer. I don't know how much this costs. You can barely find it. John and them were saying they wait in line for hours to get it. So it must sell out fast, and it's probably not cheap. Oh yeah, I gotta hold it fancy, excuse me. Well, it has a thick, very sweet, strong, deeply roasted barley malt flavor with an overriding vanilla slash oak bourbon barrel note to it. Unlike the KBS, you're not getting any chocolate or coffee, which makes sense considering it's not brewed with that. So this is not a flavored beer. It's just if you want to call it tainted beer, tainted with the bourbon barrel wood by design, of course. Now, the most famous, or formerly maybe it's now Bud Light, but same thing. The most famous brand from the company is Budweiser slash Bud Light, and that is aged and fermented with the beechwood. You know, they're always touting beechwood aging, and it's interesting because that beechwood is used because it does not impart any aroma, which they say will taint the flavor and aroma of the beer. So, of course, they bought this from Goose Island, right? They bought the company, so they just have been assuming ownership of different craft beer companies, and they can see that has been a growing thing for over 20 years, so really over 30 years, so why not, they're figuring why not get in on the game. They've tried to do some of their own in-house craft beers. Those haven't been too successful. Not because they weren't good. I think it's because people know who's making it, and they have this negative attitude towards, if it's Anheuser-Busch beer, they don't like it. And some people have said, oh, they ruined this, whatever. I don't know. I never tried Goose Island previous to the buyout. Frankly, we didn't get it here before the buyout, and the ones I've tried have been very good to me. But I remember they made the bare knuckle dry stout under the Michelob line. I had that on draft at the brewery. It was fantastic. The whole Michelob craft line was a very credible craft beer line. Just people wouldn't buy it, except for me, maybe a handful of other people. They tried the Budweiser American Ale. That didn't work. It's similar to the KBS, but it is different. It's a sweeter, chewier. The mouthfeel is heavy and chewy and velvety. The finish is boozy, alcoholic. It's not a beer that you would drink after mowing the lawn or preparatory to driving a motor vehicle, but it's interesting. It's you feel the alcohol very quickly. I mean, it's already yikes. I'm going to sip on this. I think I'm going to sip on this over a long period of time. I don't really want to deal with that. The situational aspects of drinking it all too fast. I don't want to be back looking online later and saying, I wrote that, that kind of stuff. So, it's, it really is world class. I would like to try one, if they made a Goose Island County Stout, you know what I mean? County Stout, without the bourbon. You have permission to steal my idea, and probably other people have said that. So I would give it a world-class score. It's a world-class beer. It's fantastic. So if there are faults, I can't find any. I mean, you might say, yeah, but you don't like the bourbon. That's not a fault. That's just a preference. So les bon temps roulé, a world-class beer, and I'm going to end this review by saying y'all come on down to sunny and warming southeastern Louisiana.